Let's get started and learn how to do it now. Hey, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all enjoying the lessons so far. I've been getting quite a few people message asking for a video covering problems that you may face when just starting your new business and how to overcome them. So that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Firstly, let me just make you feel a little bit better. I was in the exact same place that you're in. You're going to run into many different problems along the way, both related to skill set, mentality and motivation. So I hope that by sharing with you some of the hurdles that I had to personally overcome, that you'll feel a lot better equipped and more confident to go and run after your dream. The one thing that I'll say is it's definitely possible, and the only person that can prevent you from reaching your end goal is you. Let's kick off with the fear of starting. It seems the most logical place to begin. This comes more often than not in many forms, and some of them are actually accidental. The fear of starting is something that many people cling on to and never even make the first step into doing what they want to do. In fact, it isn't even always our own fear that stops people starting. Sometimes it's the fear of other people. Now, when I had the idea to start my own business, obviously I did what most people would do, and that's talk to family and friends and gather their thoughts on the whole idea. Now, starting a new job or starting your own business, for anyone, myself included, is always a daunting thought and exciting. You want to be positive, and then you hear your family and friends, just like I did, comments like, surely that'll take years to learn. That's going to cost a lot of money. How will you support your family? What if it doesn't work? And it's almost like the bursting that excitement bubble that you initially had. Now they're worried and thinking of the things that could go wrong, or thinking that they've got your best interests at heart. They're not doing it to be nasty or put you off. They care, and some people look at starting on your own or doing something new as a risk. And that's absolutely fine if that's their way of thinking. Some people focus on the things that could go wrong straight away. Then there are the people that focus on the positive and prepare for the problems so that when or if they do come, then they've got a solution for them. My advice to anybody that has a dream or wants to start your own business, think of this. When you're old and sat in an old folks care home, talking to your new friends, eating your triangle sandwiches, and looking back over your life, what would you rather remember? Chasing a dream and never quitting, reeling in the benefits of all the hard work, doing something that you love doing and that has gave you an enjoyable life, or doing what most people do and settling for a normal 9-to-5 job that guarantees your monthly wage and gives you a life like the majority of people have. For anyone that knows me personally, will know that I'm always wanting to learn new things. I'm constantly researching about, well, almost anything. But there's one thing that really stuck out for me that I think is relevant for people who have a fear of starting. And if at any point I have a doubt on following up on an idea or a goal, I always come back to this. I've listened to or read countless books, and this is part of a recording that I listened to years ago. The author asked the question, where is the richest place on earth? Myself, like most other people, I'll have started thinking of the richest countries or the most posh cities where everything costs a fortune and you can't get a sausage roll for kids for less than £4. Or huge multi-billion-pound companies that spread across the globe. Or maybe it's the oil rigs that people are prepared to go to war over. There are so many things that pop into your head when you try and put a location to the richest place in the world. He then went on to answer the question and said this: the richest place in the world is literally within miles of where you're sat right now. The richest place in the world is the graveyard. And I thought, what the hell is this bloke talking about? Funerals aren't that expensive. But then, when I heard why, I totally understood. And it's something that has stuck in my mind from that very first time that I heard it. The richest place in the world is the graveyard because it's full of ideas that was never fulfilled here on earth. Books that were never written. Businesses that were never started. Ideas that were never invented. Holidays that were never taken. Goals that was never achieved. Think about it. Everybody has dreams and big ideas, but only a small percentage of people ever act upon it. All it takes is for you to start the motion, and then before you know it, big things start happening. I want you to imagine your goal as if it's just a small ball of snow. You stood at the top of a snow-covered mountain and can stare out at the beautiful surroundings as far as the eye can see. And you've got your little ball of snow just resting, perched there at the base of your feet. It's only a small snowball that you could easily hold in one hand like a tennis ball. Now imagine if you gave that ball, or that goal, that dream, just a little nudge with your foot. It'd start to roll and at the same time get bigger and faster, bigger and faster again. By the time it's at the bottom of the mountain, it'd be huge, so big that it'd be impossible to lift up. Momentum and gravity take over, but it takes your little nudge at the very beginning to make it all happen. Now imagine that same story without the little nudge. Well, nothing happens. The little ball or dream or goal would just simply be lost and eventually end up in graveyard with all the rest that have never gave their little ball the nudge that it needed to start the motion. If there's one thing from watching this short video that I want you to take away, if you're thinking about pursuing a dream, starting a business, anything that you want to do but you daren't get the first initial steps done, just remember it's the first step, that little nudge, that's always going to be the hardest thing to do. As soon as you've done that first action, the rest, from momentum and gravity, gets easier and easier and easier, and that dream, that goal, gets bigger and faster. So please, don't end up going to the grave, getting old and looking back on life thinking, I wish that I'd have just done that. Even if you start and things go wrong, it's always better to live life doing what you want to do rather than living your entire life working for somebody else and achieving their goals. It's not yours. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.